Hello and welcome to this first video about films I consider to be rewatchable and favourites of mine. This is something new I wanted to do instead of just reviewing new films, and I'm possibly going to do this maybe like once a month depending on how busy everything is with my life and also scheduling to review newer films as well. And the first film I'm going to be discussing is Drive from 2011 and starring Ryan Gosling, Carey Mulligan, Bryan Cranston, Oscar Isaac, Ron Perlman and Albert Brooks. And the film was directed by Nicholas Winding Refn, director of the Pusher trilogy, Bleeder, Fear X, Bronson, Valhalla Rising, Only God Forgives, The Neon Demon, the Prime Video miniseries Too Old to Die Young, and the Netflix series Copenhagen Cowboy. I know the film is 12 years old, but this is going to be a spoiler-free review, and I hope you enjoy it. The plot of Drive is about a mysterious Hollywood action film stuntman who gets into trouble with gangsters when he tries to help his neighbour's husband rob a pawn shop while serving as his getaway driver. I came across Drive back in 2011 when I watched the teaser trailer on YouTube about our main character driver doing a nighttime getaway of a robbery. Unfortunately, when the film was released on August 13th, 2011, I was too young to watch it, which was really annoying, so I waited until it was released on physical media. It took me a couple times to get into the story because this is a slow burn film, and after watching it a few more viewings over the years, I absolutely fell in love with this film, and it became an example of why I want to pick up a camera and go out and shoot something, and it is still one of my favourite films of all time. The first thing I wanted to talk about is the amazing score by Cliff Martinez. What I love about the soundtrack is it gets you into the right mood of watching Drive, whether it's catchy, suspenseful and emotional. Also, it grabs you into the film's world set in the streets and city of Los Angeles. But most importantly, being in the shoes of our main character driver, for example the opening credit scenes and some other scenes when he is driving around Los Angeles to get more of an understanding of who this character is and the world he is living in. Of course, the music supports the tone and I feel the mood of Drive works. The film knows to be sufficiently the right time to be exciting and intense. For example, the nighttime getaway scene, and I feel it is a perfect example of an opening of grasping your audience in the film. Then heartwarming moments with our two leads with their chemistry and love. To intense, dark and heartbreaking when the drama kicks off. Going violent and cannot go back to the calmer and better times for the characters Driver and Irene. Regarding our main character named Driver, played by Ryan Gosling, he comes across with an unknown actual name and background. All we know is in the film is that he is a stunt driver, a mechanic, and as I mentioned before, a getaway driver for robberies. As a getaway driver, I find it to be interesting that he has these strict and honest rules when he helps people on jobs, and that shows that he takes these risky jobs to be very seriously. With the more personal side of Driver, going back to the opening credits, we see that he has a pretty lonely life. I feel the reason why he prefers to drive more often than instead of just being in his flat during the evening is to keep his mind occupied and from his perspective watching the world going by. I find that to be an interesting coping mechanism for Driver to handle his problem of loneliness, his part in the world of whom he identifies as, and it is a great establishment of our main character. When Driver meets his neighbour Irene, played by Carey Mulligan, and her son Benicio, I find their chemistry and character developments to be fantastic, and as the film goes by, they show honest care, love and essentially supporting each other's problems, such as Driver's loneliness for him now having both Irene and Benicio in his life and even the responsibility he wants to look after them. Irene before not having the support of bringing up an only child while her husband is in prison, and now with Driver in her life she is now being given support. A potential future for the both of them and for the better until Irene's husband Standard, played by Oscar Isaac, comes back out of prison and both of their problems start to come back, particularly Driver's. I mentioned before in this video about Drive being a slow burn film. It is really a very well paced film. To show this appropriation for us to care about both Drive and Irene until everything goes downhill and gory. The action and the violence does escalate in this film as each scene goes by. For example, the car chase scene, the motel scene, and that elevator kissing and stamping scene. It's all unpredictable, ruthless, and shows the script of Drive has terrifying and dangerous stakes. All of the performances were excellent in Drive, and half the cast I hadn't known before until I watched this. The only ones that I already knew were Albert Brooks, Bryan Cranston, and Ron Perlman. This was the first time I came across Ryan Gosling, Carey Mulligan, and Oscar Isaac, and after seeing them in Drive, I did become a pretty big fan of their work. Ryan Gosling delivers a deeply performance and delivers so much curiosity and mystery about his character. Carey Mulligan shines in every scene that she is in, and you believe her situation and you want the best for her, just like Driver. Bryan Cranston does a great job and plays a likeable character who just wants the best for his business with no trouble, and for Driver. Oscar Isaac also does a great job in this film, considering the minor role that he has. He plays a character who very much has got involved with some crime, but he does try to show some care towards Irene and Benicio. Finally, Ron Perlman and Albert Brooks were both unsettling as the two main villains, and they play characters who make life-threatening choices towards others' lives without question. Drive is a beautiful, well-shot film of its cinematography. Its excellent use of soft and natural lighting, and it does a great job of capturing this moody, neon noir look world of LA. All of these aspects I have discussed about Drive, I give credit to its writers, Hossein Amini and James Salis, and director Nicholas Winding Refn. They have all created this exciting, hopeful, dark, and heartbreaking story, and like myself and many others have taken inspiration for filmmaking. For more technical aspects, and for a generation back in 2011, Drive was one of those action, crime and drama films that provided a much more in-depth story with some symbolism, realistic themes, and again technical aspects that many people have taken inspiration from. Also, after seeing the film more than once, just like myself, you will always have this discussion with others from your experience and interpretations. So yeah, I very much love Drive, and I would highly recommend this to everyone if you are either passionate about filmmaking or not. Based on my Letterboxd rating, I'm going to give Drive 5 stars out of 5. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know your thoughts about the film in the comments below. And if you liked what you watched, feel free to subscribe and look out for more videos coming your way.